very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking your time out and being a part of this wonderful evening. So many wonderful personalities, so many Arjuna awardees. It almost gives me goosebumps here standing because it's a huge honor and privilege for me to host this award for the Sportstar publication. Just to think of what Sportstar means to every one of us, I think when I looked at this function, and Sportstar Award celebrates its 40th year, come to think of it, I've literally grown up with Sportstar because I'm 40, and therefore it's a very, very special occasion, all the more for somebody like me. Earlier in the day, I think Ravichandran Ashwin had tweeted about the fact that every time he thinks about Sportstar or the Hindu group, he goes back in time to think about the center page, the posters that Sportstar offers and still offers. And I think that's a huge incentive for every one of us growing up, especially in the south of India, because we used to grab that copy to understand everything that happens in this world of sport. And it's a special thrill to take that poster from that center page, to stick it up on the wall, and probably get inspired by all the sporting personalities that have achieved so much in the sporting world. For somebody like me, Radhakrishnan Srinivasan, I probably understood cricket a lot better thanks to the likes of Mr. Vijay Lokpalli, Mr. Vishwanath, who is present here. I understood chess a bit more better because Emmanuel Adden had those columns regularly writing in the Sportstar. When it comes to hockey, Mr. Tyagarajan, right up our excellence, everything that we needed to know about the world of hockey. Athletics, when we absolutely didn't know anything, there was only one source, and that was Mr. K.P. Mohan. When you talk about Wimbledon, we were transported live, thanks to, of course, the wonderful writing of the late Mr. Nilmal Shekhar. It was just fascinating, and we knew that a sport called ball badminton existed, thanks to the Hindu, thanks to Sportstar. So we were kept abreast of everything that was happening around the sporting world. And let's not forget, I personally felt, my grandfather always used to tell me that if you want to improve your English, if you want to improve your vocabulary, the newspaper that you need to get across and read the editorials is pretty much the Hindu. And if you want to understand what sport is all about, if you want to understand the authenticity of sport, I think you need to go for the Hindu and Sportstar. If it appears in the Hindu, if it appears in Sportstar, well, that's pretty much the Bible. That's why we were brought about, and I think and therefore, it is indeed a very, very special evening for me to be hosting this function. Right, that's more as a fan that I have spoken here. To formally introduce you all to this wonderful evening, may I kindly request Mr. Ayan Sen Gupta, who's the editor of Sportstar, to please come forward and welcome the gathering. Over to you, Ayan.
Hello, welcome everyone. We are fortunate to have the Honorable Chief Minister of Orissa, Naveen Patnaik, who recently hosted the Hockey World Cup. Mr. Patnaik would be joining us shortly. He's just in his room. We are also glad to have Mr. Nasser Al Khater, the CEO of the Qatar World Cup, with us today. I am sure the first World Cup in West Asia will be a grand success, and all of us in India are waiting to be a part of it. Hopefully, we can qualify for that. We have a couple of footballers here, and probably they are also dreaming of the same. It fills me with joy to see the presence of so many eminent sportspersons, past and present, in this iconic landmark of Mumbai. A few of our champion athletes who we admire are not here today because of their playing and training commitments around various corners of the globe. While we will certainly miss them, we didn't want to come in their way as they strive for greater glory in their chosen field. Sportspersons are, after all, meant to be in the field of play rather than in ballrooms like this. Welcome to Sportstar Aces Awards function, an event organized to celebrate excellence in sports. Almost all our athletes are champions in their chosen sports, hence they are Sportstar Aces. This award marks the 40th anniversary of the magazine, and this is the second coming for these awards. The first edition having run through in the mid-1990s to the early 2000s. in the earlier awards, only 3 categories were highlighted, as Mr. Gavaskar will know: Sportsman of the Year Senior, Sportsman of the Year Junior, and Lifetime Achievement. The awardees too came from basically 3 disciplines at that point of time: cricket, chess, and tennis. Now the scenario has changed completely. In the 15 years or so of the award's discontinuance, Indian sports has spread its wings and gone to new heights with disciplines other than cricket, India's staple sport, taking center stage. Superstars have emerged, notably in badminton, football, table tennis, shooting, wrestling, boxing, and athletics. So when we sat down to draw up a plan for the awards revival, we realized that the canvas of quality and excellence had become much larger and that we had to increase the number of awards to justice to our champions. So we brought in new categories and also took a fresh look at the selection of awardees by introducing a public poll, a jury nomination, and a direct nomination. Our online poll for 10 popular choice categories garnered more than 1 lakh votes, and it's encouraging to see the support of the Indian Republic for every sport. The online votes for our jury was just for an indication of what the nation thinks, and it was not binding on them. But more often than not, the view of our eminent jury, which has the original Little Master Sunil Gavaskar as its chairman, matched those of our readers. The other members of the jury are former hockey captain M.M. Somaya, ace shooter Anjali Bhagwat, champion long jumper Anju Bobby George, and N. Ram, who is perhaps the most ardent follower of sports in India. We had a separate jury for Lifetime Achievement Award, and we will reveal the reason behind it to you later in the night. Apart from honoring sportspersons, we have also taken care this time to recognize the toil of those behind the scenes, such as the coaches, institutions or universities, and public sector undertakings or corporate organizations, as they play an important role in promoting sports in India. As the evening rolls on and the awards are handed out one by one, I am sure you will appreciate the hard work and the effort and the inputs that have gone behind in curating this award. And with your cheers, inspire our athletes to even greater deeds. Have a nice evening, and thank you all once again for gracing this occasion. I will now call Nasir Al Khatar to the stage, and his plans are much larger than mine.
Good evening. To be honest with you, this is my first time in Mumbai, and I have to say that I have a speech prepared, but the warm welcome that I received from everybody was very heartwarming and close to heart that I took the decision, probably against my team here, to speak off the cuff. Luckily, I don't resemble Trump in any way, so I think it'll be pretty sane. So, the Chief Minister, who hopefully will join us, I'd like to send him our regards. Sports people of India, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the management of the Sports Award, thank you for inviting us here, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I'm humbled by being here in this amazing city, this iconic hotel, and to be honest with you, I would like to tell you a little bit about our project. I'm very lucky. I'm one of the few people that gets to say I'm lucky, because over the past 3 weeks we've been a country elated by a win that was unexpected, and elated by a win that we didn't think was ever possible. One thing that I also found in that tournament, which is the AFC Asian Cup 2019 in the UAE, was that India put up a very strong fight and almost qualified to the next round. And also in 2016, they went to the second round in the Under-16 Asia World Cup. And that's an indication of something. We as a country in 2004 put down a strategy. The Football Association put down a strategy that was implemented by the Aspire Academy. I have to tell you that most of us lost hope down the line, because we said that we will qualify to the World Cup in Brazil. And we're not going to be the first country to host a World Cup that hasn't qualified to a World Cup. We didn't qualify. Then came the 2018 World Cup, and that was our last chance. And we said, we will qualify to this World Cup. And we didn't qualify. So we said, okay, we'll be the first country to host a World Cup that hasn't qualified to a World Cup. It's okay. At least we'll put on a good show. It'll be well organized, and we'll be known for that. But just as about a person like me lost hope, comes a young team that surprises everybody and wins the Asian Cup under very, very difficult circumstances. So what I'm trying to say is I know that the All India Football Federation has a vision, is putting it in place. We see that there are some successes that are happening, and all I ask you is to be patient. The story that I just told you goes a long way. That patience will pay off at the end. We have a national population of 350,000, and we were able to do this. I'm not going to tell you what you're going to be able to do. So, patience. The other thing I wanted to mention is you said that I will tell you a little bit about our plans. But you know, these are not our plans. For those of you who may know or may not know, the Indian community in Qatar is the largest community. They constitute 25% of the population. That's even larger than the nationals of Qatar. So when I talk to you about the World Cup and I tell you about the plans of the World Cup, I'm actually talking to you about your World Cup and the plans for your World Cup. This World Cup is closer to you. This World Cup is closer to you by airplane than some cities in India, I understand. 2 hours and 30 minutes and you'll be in Doha. We've grown up as children watching Bollywood movies, eating Indian food. Our doctors, our teachers, our engineers, the people who stand side by side with us that have built the country to what it is today are the people of India. Of course, there's also a lot of other nationalities from Southeast Asia, from the Arab world, and also credit goes to them. But we grew up, and pretty much the Indian community is the largest community. We have a lot of influence. Biryani is pretty much a national dish. Karak is something we drink every day. So I think it's safe to say that this World Cup is a World Cup for all of us to celebrate. I think all I have to say is, you know, we look forward to welcoming you there. Tonight, for the people who are nominated for awards, those of you who will win, congratulations in advance. For those of you who don't, persevere, keep your hopes up. To all the, you know, something else that I need to mention actually, which I learned of today, I didn't realize how big cricket was in India. So I know that there is some members from the 1983 Cricket World Cup team that beat the West Indies that are here. I know that there are members from the team that won the World Cup in 2011. I extend to you a special invitation to come and attend the Football World Cup in Qatar. I'm sorry, but it is the single largest sport in the world. But also for the footballers that are here, I extend to you a special welcome. Once again, thank you for having us here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. And I hope to see you soon, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nasser Al Khatar. You talk about Qatar, you talk about quality, and rest assured everything will be on the tee as far as World Cup 2022 is concerned. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much once again. Right, moving on to the next part of this evening. It's wonderful that he spoke about infrastructure, he spoke about sport, he spoke about the global stage, because I think when we talk about athletes, we talk about infrastructure as well, and with every passing day, we increasingly speak about technology. And therefore, it's only right that we understand a little bit more about India's growth as a sports infrastructure and technology hub. Towards that, we will have a panel discussion right now, which will be moderated by my good friend in Gaurav Kalra, who's the group editor, Sports Network 18. May I kindly request Gaurav to please come forward, and big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Gaurav Kalra. it's only right that I let you introduce your guests. Yeah, sure.
Good evening to everyone. Just wanted to call upon my panel to onto the stage. Khalid Al-Nama, who's the head of media for the Asian region for the 22 World Cup. Can you please come up on stage, sir? Udit Seth from Trans Stadia, if he can come up, please. Vasant Bharadwaj from Tenwick. And Deep Mukherjee, who is the CEO of CII Sports. A very eminent panel here to talk about this, so please come. Mr. Mukherjee, if you're here. Yeah, please. I'm sitting in the center. Yeah, all right. Is that okay? Okay. All right, I get pride of place. Welcome to everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us. It's really good to have so many legends of Indian sport around here. Mr. Gavaskar, good evening. Of course, technology and infrastructure are areas that we often hear sports people complain about. And if you've been a journalist as long as I have, sports people have traditionally complained about infrastructure, mostly in private, because that earns the ire of administrators around the world, but sometimes in public as well. So it's a great opportunity to actually talk about the advancements that are being made. It was wonderful to hear Mr. Khattar before that, but I think you should begin by telling us about some completely astonishing things, never heard before things that are happening ahead of the the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. One of the things that you're doing is you're actually, to use layman's language, you're actually air conditioning big stadiums. How in the world are you doing that?
The short answer is yes. But before that, let me just tell you how honor and privilege I feel being here and joining this night with you, and my also greetings to my colleague, the panelists. So basically, yes, one of the main challenges that we faced in the beginning of our thinking of bidding for the World Cup was the climate challenges. And luckily, we had a very clever, young, and ambitious team that successfully managed to transform every challenge into an opportunity. So one of the main challenges was the climate. So since 2008, we have air-cooled stadiums with an open roof, which is something unique, as you said, while there are at some parts of the world heated stadiums, like North America, for instance. It was the right time for different parts of the world to find some innovative solutions for different challenges. So the first generation, 2008, in which was applied in Al Sadd Stadium in Doha, was so much relying on generators. It wasn't the perfect sustainable solution for us. So we started developing the second generation of our cooling technology, which was applied in the first World Cup stadium that was inaugurated in 2017, Khalifa International Stadium, and is going to be also installed in every World Cup stadium. The key thing is that we are very proud that this technology is 100% Qatari, in partnership with Qatar University. An Arab engineer from Sudan is working on this technology, and apparently it worked really well. I was working in the media operations team in 2017 in the final match of the Emir Cup, which was held in the stadium. We got some inquiries from the journalists for blankets. At the time that the temperature was mid-40s outside of the stadium, it was between 19 to 22 inside the stadium.
Well, Mr. Khattar mentioned about cricket in India, and you know, I see there are several cricketers here, some legends, some on their way to becoming legends. There's Jasprit Bumrah here, who's going to be a big member of India's World Cup team. I can tell you, if he has the opportunity to bowl in an air-conditioned stadium, he normally bowls 10 over spells. I think he can bowl 20, 25 over spells at peak speed. Couldn't you just be? Just imagine, Mr. Gavaskar, having the opportunity to play at Eden Gardens, fully air-conditioned. Rohan Bopanna sitting here. Playing a Davis Cup tie at South Club with all that humidity, forget about it. It's fully air conditioned. These are 8 stadiums, correct me if I'm wrong, 8 stadiums that you've got and training facilities that are air cooled.
It's 8 stadiums, 7 of them are air conditioned. One of them, in which we'll talk about in a minute, there is a unique, specific reason why it's not air conditioned, because the whole stadium is demountable.
Can I just get thoughts from every one of you on the panel first on this sort of, it seems like a spectacular leap in technology to be able to conduct outdoor sport in this manner. Vasant, why don't you weigh in, and then Udit and Mr. Mukherjee as well.
Clearly, I think the way forward to enrich spectator experience particularly is moving towards making, stadiums pretty much plug-and-play facilities these days. Whether it is a broadcaster, whether it is a spectator experience, everybody is looking at technology for enhancing their own experiences. Yes. And from that perspective, I think the day is not far off where I would start seeing immersive experiences through virtual reality in Indian stadia. It's going to be extremely crucial to keep that spectator interest sustained on one side. But I also want to focus on the other aspect, which is technology which is going to enable scale at the grassroots level. There is a lot of legacy infrastructure that is available in India, grossly underutilized, and that infrastructure needs to, get the value that infrastructure can provide needs to get unlocked. And for that, I think technology will play a significant role. While all of us are talking about competition analytics on one side, which is, taking the cricketing experience and the cricketing example, you have these analysts sitting in the dugouts these days, yes, and providing competition analytics. There is also skill development analytics, which I think is extremely crucial for the growth of Indian sport, as we see it today. So how to play the sport, how does underutilized infrastructure get utilized? I think these are elements which are going to create great opportunities. And just to round out this thought of mine, I also want to say that the significant challenge that we in India will face is for adoption of technology by people who are either administrators or coaches in our country. Their ability to be able to embrace technology and then use it for scalable purposes, I think, is going to be crucial in the way we are going to be able to address the needs of Indian sport.
Yes, not a lot of people will know, but Vasant speaks from the experience of also a former sportsman himself, having played international level table tennis for India. Udit, an area that is really close to you, this is what you do essentially for a living, build infrastructure, build the world-class infrastructure that you have over the last few years. What are you taking away from this?
So I think, first of all, congratulations to Qatar for taking such a bold step. For a country which possibly has the population of Nepean Road in Bombay to host the World Cup is really audacious, and it's really going to bring the world to Qatar. And I think there's a lot to learn from what the entire country is doing in terms of the stadium technology. I think they've deep dived into how to make cooling sustainable, how to improve it, how to make it cost efficient, how to use sustainable technology to power these stadiums. And I think that is something that we can learn very quickly in India, because like Qatar, we have plenty of sunshine. But unlike Qatar, we have plenty of people. So how do we get these stadiums to be utilized for more than just football? And that's what we specialize in.
Yes.
And so legacy planning, training and development, analytics, all of that is something that needs to be plugged into it. We've had the good experience of working with a broadcaster. In this case, we worked with Star before even going live to spec the stadium out so that it's broadcast friendly. We built in 300 toilets, so that men and women can go, and there's no problem from a sanitation standpoint. The players have wonderful locker rooms. I think that overall experience and how to make it sustainable is what we bring to the table, and I think that's something that Qatar is developing very well as a technology.
Mr. Mukherjee, just weigh in here, because we've heard from the organizer, we've heard from specialists in the area. One of the concerns that often gets expressed in India in particular is regarding policy. Does policy come in the way of big projects? In the policy come in the way of, or impediments come in the way of developing ideas of this kind? What's your experience and takeaway from hearing these gentlemen talk?
So I'll echo what Vasant said. I think there is a tremendous amount of opportunity waiting to explode at the grassroots level. And I've personally always felt that if sports has to grow up in the country, it has to be bottoms up, not really tops down. So we have been driving this agenda on sports is equal to education. We fundamentally believe that if sports has to grow in this country, it has to be brought into the mainstream as a part of formal curriculum system.
Right.
And we've been driving this initiative with the ministries respectively. So far, the response have been very encouraging. Just to share, the Central Board of Secondary Education made mandated sports education for all classes from 9th to 12th, 1 PE period a day, which I think is a very large movement of the needle. We drove the agenda on Samagra Siksha, which is holistic education. We believe if children are not playing sports, a very important part of their education is incomplete.
Right.
And so those are some of the changes we are seeing happening. It's, I think in the days to come, it will only get larger momentum. But just to pick up the point which Vasant said, I think there's a tremendous amount of infrastructure lying available at a grassroots level, which has to be brought into the mainstream of usage through some public policy initiatives or policy changes at the government's end. Those are the things which should drive the consumption patterns in sports in the country.
Yes, because again, to take the cricket example, one of the real successes or achievements of the Indian cricket system is to build these world-class stadiums all over the country, and there are now, 23 or 25 test quality centers. Again, just to come back to you, one of the aspects that I was kind of, when I was just researching this conversation, that came to mind was, you tell us a little bit about the Al Rayyan Stadium. That apparently has an Indian contractor as its main driving force, and that too in itself is a unique project.
Yes, exactly. But before that, if you allow me just to build upon what my colleague said, it's very important.
Fully allowed,
also,
sir. Please go ahead.
It's very important to realize the importance of sporting venues,
Yes.
And how it exceeds now the fact that it only hosts sporting events. It's very crucial now for any venue that is that could be multi-purpose. To give you a very solid example, in Khalifa International Stadium, which is the first integrated World Cup, next month we're hosting a concert for the iconic A.R. Rahman. So it's very important that the lighting, the cooling technology in our case, the turfing of the stadium, the facility
So
all
will
around.
all the people who will be at that concert need blankets? Will it be that cold?
Hopefully. Nowadays the weather is fine, but I think for some they will need. Back to your question, Rayyan Stadium is very unique for many different reasons. First of all, that it's being built, yes, by Indian contractor. And another thing is that after the tournament and the legacy mode, beyond 2022, it's going to be the home ground of Al Rayyan Sports Club, which is one of the most supported football clubs in Qatar. But also, the unique feature of the stadium that it's very sustainable and very environmental friendly, because it's the only stadium that is being built in the same ground of the previous stadium. However, after demolishing the first stadium, the old one, we reused and recycled 90% of the material in building the new stadium, not just construction-wise, but also in many masterpieces and art pieces in the precinct. Also to fit into the surrounding and the neighborhood of the stadium, it will have a cricket pitch, because that area is heavily inhabited by our fellow Indians in Doha. It reflects also the identity and the soul of Qatar, because, as I said, nowadays stadiums are not just sporting venues, but there are different tourists that travel halfway around the world just to visit Nou Camp in Barcelona or Old Trafford in Manchester. So it was very important for us, for the designs of the stadiums, to reflect the soul and the identity of Qatar. This stadium specifically is very tied with the deserts and the sand dunes that Qatar is famous with.
Wonderful. So we hope to see Jasprit bowl in one of these stadiums in Qatar very soon in 2022, as soon as it's done. In fact, since Rohan and Gagan are here, Gagan Narang is another one of India's world-class shooters, won an Olympic medal in 2012. And they will remember that Rio, the experience was great while we were in Rio and at the Olympics. But exactly, Vasant and Deep and Udit, you can speak about this. 6 months later, the city was in ruins. I mean, the stadiums were in ruins. All the venue, all the facilities. It was quite depressing to see those images come out of there. That's one of the big lessons, isn't it, while building infrastructure, that you've got to ensure that it's sustainable, like he's saying here.
I completely agree with what you're saying, which is why I keep coming back to this whole utilization challenge. And you know, when I'm sitting here and I see my role model and hero Prakash sitting right here, Sunny Gavaskar, Vishy Anand, if we were to, you know, develop, let's say, a Sunny Gavaskar style of batting or a Kumble style of bowling or a Vishy Anand school on chess or Prakash's way to play badminton, hosted on a cloud, and have millions of young children just be given a username, password-driven access, and they get to watch and say, this is how I need to play badminton. The challenge of many of these youngsters who go through a process of unlearning before they get to the next level, after being discovered that they have talent, can be eliminated completely. And look at the power of technology there. How many people can even reach out to a Prakash Padukone Badminton Academy today? At best, 100, 150. But if you put him on the cloud, millions. And I think that's the power of technology. And then what it does is the softer elements of utilization of infrastructure gets addressed. I think that is something that we in the sporting ecosystem need to take seriously.
Udit, just a thought on Rio and the examples that came out of there. It does look like that was terribly managed, and as a result, what's happened to the infrastructure is in complete ruins.
So I think stadiums, from my perspective, they are iconic city centers. You know, they are not a place which becomes dead, like in India. If you see a stadium, barring mine in Ahmedabad, they're alive. We jumped stadium utilization to almost 70% per annum. Even Rio had a lot of retractable seating. They had a lot of infrastructure from London which went to Rio. They had a lot of things which they demounted. But it's about pre-planning everything, the entertainment, the hospitality, the retail, the club. Everything needs to be pre-planned, the pitch needs to be turnable, the lights need to be able to be turned around. And if you can jump that utilization, I think with our dense population, India's got over 180 stadiums. We can make them all great, iconic city centers.
Mr. Mukherjee, can you talk about whether the experiences of the more recent high-profile events India have held have been better in that regard? The Under-17 Football World Cup, for instance, the Commonwealth Games, for instance. Has lessons from previous previous sporting events been learnt in the way those improvements, those new stadia have been utilized further?
Well, I think certainly. I think with every league or every event which happens, there is a learning which is passed on. But I think there are models which we need to imbibe now. For example, the Trans-Stadia model in Ahmedabad is a classic case of where you build as infrastructure which can be used year-round, rather than an annual event which happens and everything dies out there on.
Right.
I think we talked about technology somewhere. You know, the entire context of using technology for sports has not really been evaluated yet. There are tremendous amount of startup ecosystem growth in this country. And I'm fascinated by the number of startups happening in the sports ecosystem now at grassroots level. These are people who have developed apps where you can log in over there, cherry pick a stadium to play for a fee and then come out. Just imagine, as Udit said, the 180 stadiums available in this country are made available for everyone in this room and outside to play.
Yes.
It's a tremendous opportunity. It's a tremendous cultural change they're bringing about.
Yes. How wonderful would it be to be able to log into the cloud, like you were saying, and see Prakash Padukone play, or the Sunny Gavaskar straight dive, or the Baichung Bhutia dribbles. I mean, it would be a wonderful experience. Before we finish, wanted to ask you for one other thought. There is a fully dismantleable stadium that you now have in place for the World Cup. Now, here, you know what the journalist in me would think, why go through the pain of putting together a stadium if you're going to end up dismantling it? Why are you doing that? There must be some logic to that.
It's not in place yet. We're on the
so you're putting it together and then you'll break it down.
Yes, definitely. Because as everyone else said, it's very important for us what is the main usage of this stadium after 2022. So that's why we consulted many of the social gatherings in the local neighborhoods that will host these stadiums to ensure that what are the needs and facilities that they lack to input in the precinct of the stadiums. So, for instance, in Al Wakra Stadium, they lacked some schools. So we are embedding schools within the precinct and the master plan of the stadium to ensure that there are daily usages of these areas. One more reason is also to seek the developmental plan of the country itself, discussing this with the municipalities and with the local authorities to go and to invest in the same areas and not to overwhelm the country's budget with different projects. This applies to this stadium, Ras Abu Aboud. The landscape of this area is iconic because it overlooks the skyline of Doha from a very interesting point of view. It's a very, it's a place with a great potential to be a touristic, destination rather than wasting it on a sporting venue that is going to be used every now and then for sporting events. So the main logic was for this stadium to prepare this lands with different kind of amenities and facilities, and then to dismantle the main parts of the stadium, which are the shipping containers, and reuse them in different projects to serve F&B's needs and commercial uses here and there in the country. In addition to donating many of these elements to countries in need, either in Asia, Africa, or MENA region, in addition to 170,000 extra seats that we'll also take down from different stadiums and donate, because simply the country doesn't need stadiums with this magnitude and size.
Well, very good to hear that. Also, just as you were speaking, the Honorable Chief Minister arrived. They've just hosted a Hockey World Cup with great success, and hopefully in the future, we could have air-conditioned hockey stadiums in India if all goes to plan. Final thought before we finish up and the program can move on. Udit, from yourself and Vasant about this. This technology seems like it's a window into the future. There is the concept of dismantling a stadium in the way that Mr. Namas just explained, as well as, of course, we've been talking about cooling technology. Do you believe this can be transferred, this knowledge base can be shared and utilized for projects going forward in India?
I'm really happy you mentioned that, because in the stadiums we develop, 50% is retractable and transportable.
Right.
So in the Ahmedabad stadium, which is a 20,000-seater stadium, 10,000 can be transferred anywhere. So we've built a overnight boxing arena in a mall because they needed the parking lot the next day morning. And a 5,000-seater stadium was live on ESPN. We've also done 3,000-seater spectator arena for Navratri because it's Gujarat, So we've done all kinds of things, and we've transported the seats outside the stadium. So we take the venue to the people rather than trying to get the people to the venue. And just to close on that point, another great use of stadiums is direct education. If you can build universities and stadiums, you can make event management happen, you can have sports courses happen, and the same kids will be the volunteers for your mega events. So stadiums can be really great for the future of India.
Vasant, final thought before we finish?
I think all of these elements that we've spoken about really need to coexist, come together and make a telling difference to that user out there, whether it's a spectator, it's a player, it's an enthusiast who's come into the sport. I just want to close my comments with saying that Sportstar has been an integral part of my life. I still cherish the only ever centerfold that Sportstar carried of mine. It's hung out there, and it's been an honor and a privilege to be on this dais today. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone here. Thank you to Vasant, of course, and Khalid for sharing those insights. Fascinating. Makes every one of us come to the World Cup in 2022 and actually see all of these facilities. Deep as well as Udit. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Gaurav Kalra. Thank you so much to all the panelists. Yeah, standing here, extremely comfortable, wonderful climate inside this room. Was just tempted to think what it'll be like to play a sport in an air-conditioned enclosure. Was looking at the reaction of Jasprit Bumrah when they were talking about those air-conditioned enclosure. That was a wonderful sight, actually. I could almost read his mind, if only, if only. Right, thank you so much, as said, ladies and gentlemen. So let's move on to the next phase of the function. When you talk about Sportstar, it's nostalgia, as I said. It's been quite a journey. It's come through so many decades. It's been fascinating to understand the journey a little more. And it's only right that when we talk about Sportstar, we try to look back at the journey to understand how wonderfully it has gone through all those years. May I kindly request, before we understand that journey, before we actually see that journey, if I can request Ayan Sen Gupta, the editor of Sportstar, to please come forward, because it's only right that he relives the journey of Sportstar. Ayan?
So this AV essentially looks into Sportstar's journey, or the Hindu group's journey. From 1909, we were the first one to have a dedicated sports page. Then 1948, we had our magazine. So before revealing what you're going to see in the AV, I'll invite Mr. Ram to also join me so we can play the AV.
What's the power of a story? Is it just an account? Merely the retelling of something that took place? Or is it something much more? We know a thing or two about that. We've been telling stories for a long while now. There are stories of victory and stories of defeat. Stories of hard work and discipline. Stories that motivate and stories that inspire. And what a journey it's been. This is our story and yours. This is the story of sport itself. Along the way, we've grown from storytellers to people of action. With the ideal of making India a sporting nation. This is not just sports journalism. This is something beyond that. Welcome to a comeback story like no other. Recognizing and rewarding the best and brightest in the world of sport. And the people and institutions that scripted their stories. So then, what is the power of a story? It's the power to empower. The power to make it happen. Welcome to the Sportstar Aces Awards.
Good evening, and may I personally welcome the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Mr. Naveen Patnaik, and our wonderful sports persons and sports administrators for the present and past, and my favorite cricketer, all time, Sunil Gavaskar, who is the chairman of our jury, and others, other friends who come here in support of this award function. The Hindu, which is 140 years old, has, I would claim, paid special attention to sport, and we are among the foremost journalistic ventures in this country that have seen the importance of sports. There are others, of course, outstanding writers in other newspapers and also on television, and we acknowledge all of them, but we do claim a special place in this respect. We've had wonderful contributors over the years. Sunil Gavaskar himself, for about 20 years, has done us proud with his views. Another one I want to mention, familiar perhaps only to the older generation, is the great Australian cricket writer and former Test cricketer Jack Fingleton, a much read and widely admired cricket writer for a generation. Just to give you an idea of his contributions, we did a count, and between 1945 and 1981, just before he died, Jack Fingleton, remember, was part of the Bodyline series and wrote a great cricket classic called Cricket Crisis. But in that period, 45 to 1981, we are proud to say that the Hindu published 2,089 reports and articles written by Jack Fingleton, 342 articles for sport and pastime between 47 and 68, and 35 articles for the Sportstar, the last published just before he died, a few weeks before he died. I just want to touch on the role that the press and the news media play in covering and promoting sports. I think it's a two-way process. We support sports and in turn derive great support and inspiration from the achievements of our sports persons. Just to give you an example, before the rise of Indian chess, and here is our champion of champions, Vishwanathan Anand. Before that, there was not much coverage of chess in Indian sport, but it was a two-way process. Perhaps we helped when they were young, but we got a tremendous reward for that because of his achievements and the achievements of some others, but above all Vishwanathan Anand. I think we can claim that chess journalism in India came into its own and has developed. It's pretty good at the moment. There are several specialists who write on chess, and likewise we go back. You can say that about the rise of Ramanathan Krishnan. We are proud that he comes from Madras, now Chennai, and I think much of developed tennis coverage in India owes to that, goes back to that. So it's a two-way process, and I think it has to develop that way. And with the onset of television, the game has changed. I don't want to go into that. The role of the press and news media in promoting sport, as in many other areas, but particularly here, is to inform, one, to educate, and three, to entertain. And you've got to strike the right balance between these three things. You can't talk down to your readers, but it's a function of education. You've got to inform, be factual, and you also got to entertain, but it can't be purely entertainment-based. So I think to strike this balance is difficult, but that's what many of us try to do. Many colleagues from other media organizations also try to do that. And this is what I wanted to place before you. We are delighted that in this great metropolis, one of the world's great metropolises, we have relaunched, that was explained, our Sportstar Awards, Aces. So welcome again and thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Enram, the chairman of the Hindu Group. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, to be honest, it needs absolutely no introduction. It comprises of the champion in Mr. Sunil Gavaskar. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the jury, who had a very tough time in choosing the champions. Mr. M.M. Somaya, a wonderful name in the world of hockey. Ms. Anju Bobby George, excellent to have your company here, ma'am. Ms. Anjali Bhagwat, wonderful as ever. Thank you so much for making your presence felt. And of course, Mr. N. Ram, who's the chairman of the Hindu group. Right, let's get started with the first of the awards. The Sportswoman of the Year, para-athlete category. The nominees are Manasi Joshi for badminton, Deepa Malik for shot put, and Ekta Byan for club and discus throw. To give away the award, may I kindly request the three-time Olympian and the 1980 Olympic gold medalist, Mr. M.M. Somaya, to please come forward. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. M.M. Somaya.
Good evening. The Para-Athlete Sportswoman of the Year, Deepa Malik.
A tremendous inspiration, ladies and gentlemen. Keep the applause going for Deepa Malik. She fought against all odds to become the champion that she is.
Good evening, everyone. Honorable Minister, sir, the eminent jury, my fellow athletes and senior from the sports world, thank you so much for this honor. And I think I started my journey very late in life, but with this award, post-Rio, everybody thought that I'm retiring, but and thank God, for once I thought that it's the first award and it could be the lifetime achievement, but I'm grateful that it is still the Sportswoman of the Year, and thank you for validating my journey, because it is still going on. And I'm really happy that the journey of ability beyond disability that I set out on after getting paralyzed at the age of 30 years, just below total paralysis. But when I joined the world of athletics at the age of 40, sports not only empowered me, it erased the wheelchair and the disability in the eyes of the community. It became a medium to convey the message loud and clear that any disability cannot limit our dreams. But above all, it has been my anti-aging cream, and people say I still look way younger than 50. That's one thing. But of course, I have to thank the media, the Hindu group here, and everybody for giving this respect to the para sports, for making it inclusive for us, for enabling us to be considered mainstream and breaking the barriers, and it in turn also helps the society to change their mindsets towards people with disabilities. So I think sports has really empowered me, and thank you for empowering para sports by even starting the category with us. God bless you, and thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Ms. Deepa Malik, of course, spoke about lifetime achievement. Her life is an absolute inspiration to all of us who are present here. Thank you so much once again for making here and accepting the award. Next up is the Para-Athlete Sportsman of the Year award. The nominees are Sundar Singh Gujjar, Suyash Jadhav from the swimmer, of course, and Manoj Sarkar for badminton. To present the award, may I request Al Sumariwala to please come forward, the President of the Athletic Federation of India. May I kindly request you to please come forward, sir. May I also request Rohan Bopanna to please come forward to present the award. And also on stage, may I request Mr. Deep Mukherjee, who is the CEO of CII Sport, to please come forward. As you would have guessed, it was always going to be tight, and therefore, thank you so much, Deep. Let's figure out who the winner is, or perhaps are.
The Para-Athlete Sportsman of the Year,
Suyash Jadhav and Manoj Sarkar.
Thank you so much, Manoj. Wonderful to have your presence here. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Manoj Sarkar, who's done the nation proud in the world of badminton. And of course, the proud parents, ladies and gentlemen, of Suyash Jadhav are here. The parents, ladies and gentlemen, of Suyash Jadhav, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am, for producing a champion. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Sportsman of the Year, Racket Sport. The nominees are Rohan Bopanna, Sharat Kamal, and Sameer Verma, of course, from badminton. To present the award, may I kindly request Mr. Neeraj Bajaj, who is the multiple national table tennis champion, to please come forward, one of the directors of OGQ as well, and of course, the man who's giving it all back to the world of table tennis. May I kindly request Mr. Neeraj Bajaj to please come forward.
Sportsman of the Year, Racket Sports, Sharat Kamal.
Persistence and perseverance, ladies and gentlemen, when you think about Sharat Kamal.
Well, good evening, one and all present here. It's really Fantastic. I've seen most of you guys only on the Sportstar posters. Well, I'm one among here. It's really a great honor to be here. And well, in the last awards for sports in Indian Oil, I had actually voted for Rohan Bopanna, and this time I've taken it away from him. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for this wonderful evening, and gives us a lot of motivation for, I think, all of us are pretty much encouraged and motivated to do more and more honors for the country, and we'll keep it going. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You're an inspiration to many. Somebody who's toiled long and hard and who still keeps going. Wonderful to have you here, Sharat Kamal. Sportswoman of the Year, Racket Sport, that's the next of the categories. The nominees in this are PV Sindhu, Ankita Raina, and Manika Batra. To please present the award and announce the winner, may I kindly request Baichung Bhutia to please come forward on stage. Looking as fit as ever, Baichung.
The winner is PV Sindhu and Manika Batra.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to both of them. I'm afraid Manika Batra has been unable to make it here because of prior commitments, but may I kindly request Virendra Skina to please come forward to receive the award on behalf of PV Sindhu. Virendra Skina, if you can please come forward to receive the award on behalf of PV Sindhu. The champion in his own right, Virendra Skina, has helped so many of those athletes and continues to do so through Olympic Gold Quest, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Of course, PV Sindhu hasn't been able to make it because of the competition that she is involved in, but she has been able to send across a message. We'll hear what PV Sindhu has got to say about this award.
Congratulate Sportstar for the 40th anniversary, and sorry I was not able to come and receive the award, but a big thanks to Sportstar for giving me the Sportswoman of the Year Racket Sports. And I think I've been seeing Sportstar since a very long time, since I was really young, and I used to really like it. Every time Sportstar used to come, I used to just look into it and see like what all pictures have come. But it is a really great that Sportstar is able to cover all the sports and is doing really great. And I would want to wish them all the very best, and I hope it continues.
I know when we talk about the Hindu, when we talk about the Sportstar, we invariably talk about the correspondents, the team of reporters that Hindu and Sportstar have got, but it's only my duty to mention the fantastic set of photographers that they've had to capture those moments which have made it to the pages of the Hindu and the Sportstar as well. And they've got wonderful stories to tell as well, because they are there everywhere, and we grew up listening to the stories of a few of them. Right, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the next set of awards. It's the Best Young Athlete Girl. The nominees for the same are Manu Bakar in shooting. She's just 16. Unbelievable stuff that she's created in the world of shooting. Jemima Rodriguez, just an 18-year-old. Cricket would consider it lucky to have her. It could have been hockey. And of course, Neetu, who is a boxer herself. To present the award, may I kindly request Ms. Anjali Bhagwat to please come forward on stage to announce the winner and of course present the award as well. The ever so pleasing, the ever smiling Anjali Bhagwat, the champion in her own right. Thank you so much.
The Best Young Athlete Girls award goes to Manu Bakar. I'm happy.
Of course.
She tried all sports, from basketball to boxing, from karate to kabaddi, kho-kho, tennis and skating, only to realize shooting was her favorite. Teenage sensation, Manu Bhaker ventured into the world of shooting in 2016. And only a year later, she surprised all when she defeated multiple World Cup medalist and world record holder Hina Sidhu in national championships. From then, there was no looking back. Manu won gold medal at the 2018 International Shooting Sport Federation World Cup, becoming the youngest Indian shooter to achieve the feat. She also shattered
First of all, I would like to thank Sportstars for having me here. I'm really sorry, I don't know what to say, but right now I'm just coming from my practice session. I had my half day and then I got that direct flight. Then I'm here. I didn't even change my clothes and didn't even go to the washroom. So, and thank you so much for having me here. It was great pleasure. Thank you so much.
Got to be the best speaker of this evening, to be honest. You've already won it. Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much once again. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, the Young Athlete of the Year, boys category. Quite a few in this section. Making the list of nominees are Lakshya Sen, Prithvi Shaw for cricket, Srihari Natraj for swimming, and Saurabh Chaudhary for shooting. To do the honors, may I kindly request Mr. Gagan Narang to please come forward to announce the winner. Anjali was obviously proud of awarding that to a shooter. We'll wait and watch as to who Gagan is going to award it to.
Very good evening, everyone. The best young athlete, boys. Any guesses? Saurabh Chaudhary.
Well done, Saurabh.
Born in Uttar Pradesh in 2002, Saurabh Chaudhary is the latest shooting sensation in India. He started his training in 2015 and became the youngest gold medalist in Asian Games last year at just 16 years. Saurabh also bagged a gold in Korea in September 2018 with a junior world record score, and followed it up with another gold at the Youth Olympics in Buenos Aires. The career graph of the young star is on a steady growth pace, making him one of India's brightest sports prospect. The Sportstar Young Athlete of the Year boys goes to Saurabh Chaudhary.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, next up, the award for the best state for the promotion of sport. We've had so many states who have done wonderfully well in the recent past. There's so many that have promoted sport immensely. The nominees are Odisha, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. To give away the award, to announce the winner, may I kindly request Mr. Vishwanathan Anand to please come forward.
And the winner for the best state goes to Odisha.
Thank you so much. May I kindly request Mr. Patnaik to please come forward to receive.
Investment in sports is investment for our youth. Investment in youth is investment in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, generally, ministers are used to giving away sports awards. Today, you must have been surprised to see me getting one. Well, you see, politics is not very different from sports. We have to run, duck, jump, catch, sprint. Sometimes you don't even know in which direction you're running. Sometimes you throw and sometimes you're thrown out. Jokes apart, both in sports and politics, you need passion to succeed in sports. Passion to win a game will make you a winner, but passion for the game will make you an icon. Similarly, in politics, passion for power will make you win elections. Passions to serve will make you win people. A competitive spirit is the hallmark of both disciplines. Without this spirit, great achievements are not possible. Let me give you an example. We decided that all the kacha houses in Odisha should be constructed. We used to construct 5 lakh houses in 5 years. The challenge was to construct about 20 lakh houses in 5 years. One of the main strategies that worked for us was to create a competitive spirit amongst the districts. Achievers were recognized, fueling further competition. And it resulted in a record 2 million families getting shelter security. Now, I must congratulate the Hindu for instituting this award and creating a competitive atmosphere among the states. Mr. Ram, next year there's going to be more competition. Whoever wins or loses, sports and sports development will be the winner. Thank you, Hindu, for this pioneering initiative. I believe investment in sports is investment in youth, and investment in youth is investment in the future. In this, the involvement of states is important for sports development in the country. Every state and its people are passionate about some sport. For example, hockey in Odisha. In a pioneering step, the government of Odisha is the official sponsor of the national hockey teams, both men and women. In states, if states start adopting 1 or 2 games, it will hugely benefit the sports ecosystem in the country. Only when states are involved, we can broaden the catchment for sports talent. We may not have to wait too long for the world to hear our national anthem being played on the Olympic stage. I thank the esteemed jury for this recognition, and I dedicate this award to the 4.5 crore sports-loving people of Odisha. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sportstar is as much a part of Indian sporting history as the sports that it has covered. And so I'm delighted to be here on its 40th anniversary. Now, what goes into creating a sporting culture? One, the construction and availability of world-class infrastructure and facilities available to all. And the second is the organization of world-class events to showcase talent and inspire youngsters to take up sports. On both these counts, Odisha has excelled, and it was my honor to present to the people of Odisha, represented by the Honorable Chief Minister, this award for the best state. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to have these two fine gentlemen on stage. May I kindly request probably to have a look at what Odisha has achieved and how much it has contributed to the world of sport here in India. Can we just have that AV, please? Thank you.
Investment in sports is investment for our youth. Investment in youth is investment in the future. We could take this as either a challenge or an opportunity. We took this as an opportunity.
Everything I've seen so far tells me that these will be a great championships.
Odisha Men's Hockey World Cup held in all its glory.
ये हॉकी वर्ल्ड कप जब अलॉट हुआ था हमें, दैट वाज 2013, ओडिशा में हमें बड़ा सिंक्रोनाइज सा एटमॉस्फेयर मिला, जिसकी वजह से वी डिसाइडेड ऑन ओडिशा.
ये हमारी स्पोर्ट है, ये हमारी हॉकी है.
उड़ीसा से ही हमारा पूरा देश सीखेगा कि हाँ, एक स्पोर्ट्स का इवेंट कैसे करा सकते हैं.
ये पहला स्टेट है जिसने नेशनल टीम हॉकी टीम को स्पॉन्सर किया है.
Odisha's extraordinary and sustained efforts in nurturing local talents brought honor to India.
Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution towards Indian sport. Of course, we've got the extended family of Mr. Padukone here. The family is here. Lovely. Thank you so much. Wonderful to have you here, Ranveer. Thank you so much, Deepika, for being present here as well. Let's move on to the next set of awards. It's the Sportsman of the Year in Motorsport. To present that award, may I kindly request Ms. Anju Bobby George to please come forward to announce the winner.
And the award goes to AP Arvind.
Arvind, if we can have you come forward, please. Thank you so much, AP Arvind, for coming here to receive your award. Next category of the awards, Sportswomen of the Year, other individual sport. The nominees for the same are Vinesh Fogat, Mirabai Chanu, and Mary Kom. And the winner in that category, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately she's not here, but the winner, big round of applause for Mary Kom. She is an absolute inspiration. She defies almost everything that we can think of. What a champion performer she has been, and she continues to be as well, is Mary Kom. Sportsman of the Year, other individual sport. The nominees for the same are Bajrang Punia, Saurabh Chaudhary, and Amit Pangal. To announce the winner, may I kindly request Sanjay Manjrekar to please come forward. Sanjay. Sanjay busy having a bit of a chat with the journalist there, the Hindu. Broadcaster himself, Sanjay, yeah.
Bajrang Punia.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The star, Bajrang Punia it is. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Wonderful. The next category of award is the Team of the Year. Some great nominees here. Bengaluru FC, who's been at their consistent best. Vidarbha, who have been very, very good and so very consistent. And of course, Chennai Super Kings, who have come back with a bang as well. To present the award, to announce the winner, may I kindly request Dinah Edalji to please come forward.
Good evening, everybody. The Team of the Year, well, it has to be cricket, so Vidarbha.
Excellent. Mr. Anand Jaiswal, who's receiving the award, the president of Vidarbha Cricket Association.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a privilege to receive this award on behalf of the Vidarbha team and the Vidarbha Cricket Association in front of such a distinguished gathering consisting of icons from a long time. I just would like to share with you that the journey of the Vidarbha team to its recent successes, we just won our second Ranji also back to back, has not been very easy, and the seeds were sown long time back, about 10 years ago, by our then president, who is now with us, Mr. Shashank Manohar, by providing excellent infrastructure, coaching, etc. to the players. This has been a talking point in Vidarbha, and this has fired the imagination of youngsters all over the region. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sportstar, the Hindu group, and the jury for showcasing and highlighting the achievement of the team. The captain and the coach would have loved to be here, but they are playing the Irani Trophy and they hope to retain it again this year also. So thank you so much, and we hope to see our youngsters playing at higher levels in cricket in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a brilliant achievement to win not just once, but twice consistently. That shows how much of hard work has gone behind the scenes, and there's also something that was always doing the rounds on Twitter, because Vidarbha eventually managed to do something that the Australians couldn't do, which is to get rid of Cheteshwar Pujara a couple of times in that final. So it's just well done to Vidarbha for putting in a consistent performer. I had to get that in, Cheteshwar, you're here. I had to get that in. Sorry about that. Sorry to rub it in. But ladies and gentlemen, the next set of awards, it's for the Coach of the Year. The nominees for the same are Massimo Costantini for table tennis, Rahul Dravid, of course, and Pulela Gopichand. And the winner of that award is Massimo Costantini. A big round of applause. Unfortunately, he's, because of prior commitments, he's unable to be here, but the level to which the sport has gone talks volumes about the amount of effort that he has put in. Moving on to the Sportswoman of the Year, track and field. The nominees for the same are Hima Das, Swapna Burman, and Duti Chand. And the winner in that category, ladies and gentlemen, again, a big round of applause. Unfortunately, because of training schedule, she's not present here. Hima Das it is, ladies and gentlemen, for the same. Sportsman of the Year, track and field. The nominees for the same are Neeraj Chopra, Jinson Johnson, and Arpinder Singh. And the winner there, who's training at the moment in South Africa, is Neeraj Chopra, who's had an injury. He's recovering all right. We hope he'll be absolutely fine for the next set of competitions. Next up, it's the team sport, Sportsman of the Year in team sport. The nominees for the same are Sunil Chetri, Ajay Thakur, and Harmanpreet Singh. To present the award, may I kindly request Mr. Nasser Al-Khatar to please come forward to announce the winner. Three splendid individuals. We've had the likes of Ajay Thakur, who's been a champion in the world of Kabaddi, and of course Harmanpreet Singh as well there.
The award for Sportsman of the Year, other team sport, goes to Sunil Chetri.
May I kindly request Carlos Quadrat to please come forward, the coach of Bengaluru FC. Again, consistency personified Bengaluru FC. They made sure they've retained their brand of football. They are consistent and they've done extremely well. Thank you so much, sir.
Hello, thank you to stay here for that nice ceremony. Just to say that we are sorry that Sunil is not here. He will be very happy to be here sharing that moment with you. But we are in the middle of the season. We have a crucial game in Delhi, just very close, and he couldn't travel here for the award. He really is very happy to receive that kind of award. And I just can say to you that I have been working with him for the last 3 years, and I can really say to you that he's a great example as a sportsman for the new generations that are coming, for the opponents, for the people around football. So I think that he's doing a great job in football in that country. Thank you to the Hindu and to Sportstars for that kind of promotion of the sport and the promotion of the football here in India. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Never gets old, does he? Is Sunil Chetri. Forever young is Sunil Chetri. Let's listen in from the man himself, who of course has given his message.
Good evening, everyone. I would rather have been in front of a microphone expressing my gratitude, but circumstances mean I have to use this video instead. It's always an honor and a huge motivation to be recognized for all your efforts. And I'm really grateful to everyone at Sportstar. Also extremely sorry I couldn't be there to receive it. I promise that I'll work very hard on myself, improve myself, both for the country and the club. Have a lovely evening, guys, and a great year ahead.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the Sportswoman of the Year in team sport. The nominees for the same are Gurjeet Kaur for hockey, Gangom Baladevi and Sanjana Ramesh. And the winner for the same is Gurjeet Kaur. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Gurjeet Kaur, please. Next up, it's the Best Corporate / PSU for the promotion of sport. The nominees for the same are Railway Sports Promotion Board, ESI Sports India, and JSW Sport. All three have done splendidly well towards promoting athletes and the sport. To present the award, may I kindly request Mithali Raj to please come forward. There she is, Mithali Raj. Wonderful to have you. A legend in her own right. Thank you so much, Mithali Raj.
Good evening, everyone. The winner is Railway Sports Promotion Board.
To receive it, it's Rekha Yadav, who's the secretary of the Railway Sports Promotion Board.
Indian Railways, the Railway Sports Promotion Board has played a paramount role in promoting sports in both international and national levels. With 4 academies across India, the board recognizes 30 sports disciplines in its calendar. Out of 850 athletes sponsored by the board, 300 athletes have represented India, adding over 50 medals in international events. Last year, the sportspersons representing RSPB were awarded with Arjuna Award, Dronacharya Award, Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, and Padma Shri. The Sportstar Aces Award for the Best Corporate Organization, PSU, for the promotion of sports goes to Railway Sports Promotion Board.
Let's move on to the next of those categories. It's the Best University / Institute for Promotion of Sport. To present the award, may I kindly request Ms. Mithali Raj to please come forward to present the award again. Sorry for making you walk a bit more. Sorry. Sorry.
It goes to Army Sports Institute.
May I kindly request Mr. Lieutenant Colonel K.S. Dhaliwal from the Army Sports Institute to please receive the award.
Established in 2001, the Army Sports Institute taps talented sportsmen serving in the Army under the Mission Olympics program. Located in Pune, it is a unique multidisciplinary sports institute which imparts training in 7 sports: archery, athletics, boxing, diving, wrestling, fencing, and weightlifting. The institute has given big names in the sports sector to India, including Shiva Thapa and Vikas Krishnan, who have represented India in boxing in 2016 Rio Olympics and 2012 London Olympics. The Sportstar Aces Award for the Best University for the Promotion of Sports goes to Army Sports Institute, Pune.
Right, before we get to the next set of awards, which is Sportswoman of the Year Cricket, may I kindly request one of the jury members, Mr. Somaya, to please come forward, because going forward, well, I mean, every one of those awards, to pick and choose a winner was always going to be tough, but it was a couple of these categories that we are about to go forward to, where the jury had to really rack their brains, and therefore, may I kindly request the champion to please explain a bit further as to what the jury did in order to figure out who the champions are.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's very rare that we have a gathering of such an array of stars across disciplines. And let me first request all of you to put your hands together to thank Sportstar and the Hindu Group for this wonderful evening. I have grown up reading Sport and Pastime, which used to be the original or the Sportstar in its earlier avatar. And when I had this chance to get onto the jury, I jumped at it. And it was a fascinating experience for more than one reason. To begin with, we had a separate category for cricket. So that ensured that Diana Adalji and her boys don't run away with all the awards. Lesser mortals like the hockey players also came up for consideration. The other point was that we had a track and field which was given a special recognition. My friend Adil Sumariwala, for a change, has done some great work with the athletes, and they have done exceptionally well in the Asian Games and the Commonwealth Games, so it was great to have a separate category for them. And really what really was a very good decision by Sportstar was to have a category for specially abled sports stars, and something that even the Arjuna Awards and the Khel Ratna needs to look at. Wonderfully done. I think that was an excellent thought of having a special award for the specially abled category. The other process that really was fascinating was getting in public opinion for each of these awards, passing it through the editorial team of the Sportstar and the Hindu, and then getting the distilled list to the jury. I think that helped us very much. As was mentioned earlier, there were many aspirants for each of these awards, but getting a list that was distilled first by public opinion as well as through the editorial team helped us greatly. But I must say the best part of being on the jury was to have Mr. Gavaskar as the chairman and Mr. N. Ram as the guiding hand behind most of our decisions. That ensured that the decisions happened in a dispassionate manner and without even an iota of bias. So it was really a pleasure. We had very intense discussions on each of the winners, and we hope that we have got the decisions right this time. A lot has been spoken about the ecosystem for sport in the country. While infrastructure, coaching, technology play an important part, I think the role of the media cannot be any way less. I think the media plays a very important part, and I'd really like to wish Sportstar, the Hindu, very well in the years ahead. I'm sure that they will continue to play that important role in promoting sport and creating a better ecosystem for sport in the country. With these few words, I'd like to congratulate all the winners as well as the nominees. I hope we were able to do justice as members of the jury. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's always best to come from the horse's mouth. Let's move on to the next set of awards, shall we? Sportswoman of the Year. Cricket. The nominees are Mithali Raj, Smriti Mandhana, and Poonam Yadav. Tremendous contributors. They've done exceptionally well for the game of cricket. To announce the winner, may I kindly request Mr. Kamlesh Mehta, who's the 8 times national champion in table tennis, to please come forward. Mr. Kamlesh Mehta. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, everybody. And the award goes to Smriti Mandhana.
First of all, good evening everyone, and would really like to thank Sportstar for this award, and it's a great honor, and it will definitely motivate me to do better for my country and score some more runs. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that nice acceptance speech. Runs matter at the very end of it all. Well done. Thank you so much. Right, next award, Sportsman of the Year in cricket, of course. The nominees are Virat Kohli, Jasprit Bumrah, and Kuldeep Yadav. Every one of them have been champion performers. Virat, of course, leading from the front. Jasprit, an outstanding fast bowler. And Kuldeep, of course, just making sure that he is the core of that setup. To present the award, to announce the winner, may I kindly request Mr. Shashank Manohar to please come forward, the first independent chairman of ICC and the former president of BCCI. Thank you so much, Mr. Shashank Manohar, for making your presence felt here, sir.
We have joint winners, Virat Kohli and Jasprit Bumrah.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Virat Kohli and Jasprit Bumrah. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Jasprit Bumrah. I'll tell you what, thank you, sir. I'll tell you what, Jasprit, I hate to make a fast bowler wait, but if you can listen to your captain, our captain first, a message, and then probably a couple of questions on Virat and about yourself as well. Can we listen into what Virat had to say, because he was presented the award by one of the legends of the game of cricket, Shane Warne, who is also the brand ambassador of Rajasthan Royals.
The way he leads his team is very inspiring for everyone around the world. His love of Test cricket is something that I'm very dear to my heart. I love all forms of the game, but Test cricket is very important, I think, in the history and the traditions of the game. I think the way Virat inspires people around the world is fantastic. And I can't think of anyone else better than Sports Person of the Year, because I think what Virat does for the people of India and everyone around the world is fantastic.
Sportstar for me used to be the posters.
Yeah.
And I used to buy it every month and look forward to getting those posters. MS's poster is here now, which I'm going to take home and hand it over to him. But yeah, getting this award now from Sportstar and being on the cover is like a childhood memory all revived, but the only difference is I am on the cover now, and it's an amazing thing to achieve, and then to receive this from you is again a dream come true for me, or one of my heroes growing up. And thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the captain. And now that we've got a trusted lieutenant in Jasprit Bumrah here, it's only right that I start asking you about Captain Kohli. What kind of a captain he is? What's he like in that dressing room? Because we see only one side. The media projects one side. What's he like?
You've already heard in the video as well that Test cricket is of utmost importance to us, and he's leading by the front. And we've always given a lot of importance to Test cricket. And off the field, a lot of the details which are there, which I can't share right now, is how he behaves. But yeah, I'll just say the things that I could say is he's always motivating, he's leading from the front, and that shows in his performance. So that's a great feeling.
Wonderful. As a big round of applause to Jasprit Bumrah, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said at the start of this evening, this is all about nostalgia. Growing up, when we looked at Sportstar, when we looked at the center pages, we invariably obviously found cricketers, loads and loads of batsmen in that, if we are following cricket. In the recent past, over the last couple of decades, of course, we've had so many of those bowlers. We've had the great all-rounders in Kapil Dev, of course. But when you think of bowlers, we were led to believe it was only about the West Indies, the quartet. Or when it came to India, it was always about, obviously, Kapil Dev, the legendary all-rounder, and then you had the quartet. But what is it like being one of the core of a very different kind of quartet, the fast bowling quartet? I mean, you guys were absolutely sensational. What is it like leading the charge for an Indian pace battery?
See, India is a country where obviously we've got great legends in the field of batsmen. Everybody is known for that. But this year we wanted to win abroad. So for that, we had to do well as a bowling unit. And in the start of the year, we had decided that we'll work towards it, and we've done a lot of hard work. And when the hard work is rewarded with performance, it's always a great feeling. And as you spoke about the West Indian trio, once an Indian trio has broken a record of the West Indian trio is a great feeling, and that motivates you to even do better and keep working hard, and hopefully this hard work will get a lot of rewards in the future as well.
Thank you so much, Jasprit Bumrah. Well spoken, very well spoken. Thank you so much, Jasprit Bumrah, and of course your award. Thanks. And of course, Jasprit Bumrah, ladies and gentlemen, just to relate to what the West Indians were all about, hardly said a word. He just did the ball do all the talking. What a champion performer you are. Right, we've heard Jasprit Bumrah speak. We did hear from Virat Kohli. But we are moving on to the next award, which is a very, very special award, which comes and which has been awarded by a very, very special fan in Mr. N. Ram. So may I kindly request Mr. N. Ram, the chairman of the Hindu group, to please come forward to talk about how special that award is and also invite the winner.
This has been an embarrassment of riches, hasn't it? Cheteshwar Pujara is perhaps the last of a dwindling tribe, the pure test batsman. Another one is sitting there. At number 3, he adds high value to the Indian test squad thanks to his adhesive and decisive batting and tremendous resolve. It shows character. These traits were in brilliant view during India's recent tour of Australia, where the test series was clinched largely, one could say, thanks largely, one could say, to Pujara's 521 runs, averaging 74.42 and studded with 300s and 150. He didn't play all the tests, you'll remember, for the year. He was by far the best batsman on view on either side, and that is quite remarkable considering that his skipper, Virat Kohli, was very much in the fray. Cheteshwar in the past was sometimes criticized for his slow scoring in tests, but he has shown tremendous character and determination. Has shown that tests are of course about runs, but it is as much about batting time and tiring out the bowlers. But he has also shown that one set he can accelerate and also bat powerfully with the tail. Justin Langer, Australia's coach, said, and I quote, "I have never seen a batsman watch the ball as closely as he does." And that includes Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid. His concentration was a challenge, and we have to keep getting better just like him, all our batsmen and bowlers. This is Langer, the other side. Everyone is familiar with the Great Wall of India, but Pujara has shown that he has all the credentials to step into Rahul Dravid's shoes. Modest and soft-spoken, Cheteshwar is an adornment to this game, both with his ability and the spirit of cricket, and may I say the spirit of all sport, as it should be, but sometimes is not. So may I welcome to the stage Cheteshwar Pujara. In your interviews, you talked about watching the ball. And I did before, when we had our jury discussion, asked Sunil Gavaskar what that meant, and he gave me an explanation. But we'd like to hear it from you. What do you mean by watching the ball rather than what?
First of all, very good evening to everyone. I think it's an honor to be part of this wonderful evening. I would just like to say that that is something which has come naturally to me. The reason is I've worked really hard in my net sessions, and I've practiced for hours and hours, and once you start doing that, once you spend enough time in the nets, then you start watching the ball like a football. But yeah, to do that, I'm sure that all the cricketers are aware about it. the amount of hard work which you need to put in the nets, which always gives you reward when you start playing in the game.
And now to come to values. Your mother passed away when you were very young, when you were in school. And your father acted both as father and mother. So I've read some of that story, but tell us all about what your father has done for you and what you have done for him.
Well, it has been a tough journey for me. When I was 17, I lost my mom. She passed away because of cancer. But one thing I would like to mention here is she taught me when I was young, she told me that you will definitely have a wonderful career ahead, but what I want you to remember is it is always important to be a nice human being. Whether you become famous or not, it hardly matters. But your values, your discipline in life is the most important thing, and which I'm still trying to carry that. And when I speak about my father, he has been playing the role of my mother when she passed away, and he has been coaching me since I was 8. So he has been a strict coach. I'm sure all the coaches are very strict in all the sports, but my father has been really strict, and he never allowed me to celebrate any festivals, and he always wanted me to be on the field practicing for hours and hours. But as my life progressed, I had a good rapport with him, and we started understanding each other really well, and I'm really thankful to him that he has been there throughout my career.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Endram. Thank you so much, Cheteshwar Pujara. Right. Before we move on to the final award, which is, of course, the Lifetime Achievement Award, it's only right that we go back in time to understand the evolution of Sportstar as a brand, as an authentic product. May I kindly request you to play the AV of The Journey of Sportstar.
What's the power of a story? Is it just an account? Merely the retelling of something that took place? Or is it something much more? We'd know a thing or two about that. We've been telling stories for a long while now. There are stories of victory and stories of defeat. Stories of hard work and discipline. Stories that motivate and stories that inspire. And what a journey it's been. This is our story and yours. This is the story of sport itself. Along the way, we've grown from storytellers to people of action. With the ideal of making India a sporting nation. This is not just sports journalism. This is something beyond that. Welcome to a comeback story like no other. Recognizing and rewarding the best and brightest in the world of sport. And the people and institutions that scripted their stories. So then, what is the power of a story? It's the power to empower. The power to make it happen. Welcome to the Sportstar Aces Awards.
Right, this is the grand finale, ladies and gentlemen. To do that, first up, may I kindly request Mr. N. Murli, who is the chairman of Kasturi and Sons Limited, to please come forward to talk us through and to take us through what this Lifetime Achievement Award is all about. Because this, ladies and gentlemen, has got history, it's got so much depth. I request Mr. N. Murli to take us through all.
Pardon? Yeah. Good evening, everyone. We at the Sportstar and the Hindu are indeed honored and delighted that so many of you sports enthusiasts and sports icons are present here today on the occasion of the 40th anniversary of this magazine. For this final award, this special award, an internal jury was constituted consisting of the editorial team of Sportstar and the Hindu, with eminent editors and sports writers, along with me, a sports enthusiast of sorts. The jury formulated some criteria for this, like excellence achieved in his or her field of sport, impact of the sportsperson while playing, popularity of the sportsperson while playing and after retiring, contribution to sports after retirement, either as a coach, an administrator, or media personality, or a columnist, or in any other capacity. There were interesting nominations, and the jury was indeed privileged to go through such nominations. Of course, mindful of the fact that in its previous avatar, more than decade and a half ago, many outstanding sports persons were given this award, notably the legendary chairman of the jury for all the other awards, Mr. Sunil Gavaskar. In fact, that jury consisted of sports persons, very eminent, who could well be in contention for this award, and therefore, to avoid any conflict of interest, we had this jury. The jury unanimously came to the decision with great pleasure that Prakash Padukone, who has put Indian badminton on the world badminton map, richly deserves this award. He is not just a champion on court, but very importantly, a perfect gentleman, has been an adornment to badminton particularly, and also to sport as a whole. He caught the nation's imagination when he made history rather, winning the All England Badminton Championship way back in 1980. The same year when he was ranked #1 in the world. Looking back, you might say that the seeds for the high success rate of badminton in India today were sown when this historic match was played by him, and subsequently champions like Pulela Gopichand, and more recently Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu, and Srikanth have been excelling on the international stage.
So, Prakash Padukone truly played a pioneering role, a transformational role, and badminton is where it is today. Indian badminton is where it is today, thanks largely to his effort. And not just that, great sportsmen always give back to the sport. And Prakash has done that in abundant measure, whether in his roles with the Badminton Federation of India or in running the coaching academies that he still administers, as well as being the co-founder of Olympic Gold Quest, which is a truly laudable initiative that spots talent, supports talent, with the hope that India would win many more Olympic medals. I think he is a true ambassador of sport at a time when sport itself is getting rather aggressive and resulting in many transgressions in behavior and in upholding the spirit of sport. Prakash Padukone has been an icon. He's in a way a throwback to a gentler time when sport was fought hard on the court, but the handshakes were always warm off it. And he has also shown that nice guys too can win big time. And we are delighted that in celebration of this great sportsman winning this award, his family is present in great strength. I now invite Prakash Padukone to give away the award is none other than another legend, Sunil Gavaskar, please.
Prakash Padukone, the name synonymous to badminton in India. He picked up badminton at a time when it was not a popular sport and then glorified it with his achievements. In 1980, which is considered the golden year of Indian badminton, not only did Prakash Padukone become the first Indian to win the All India England Championships, he was also crowned world #1. For his exemplary contribution to Indian sports, Mr. Padukone has been adjudged with Arjuna Award and Padma Shri by the Government of India. He is not only an inspiration to the younger generation, but also supports them through his foundation, Olympic Gold Quest. The Sportstar Aces Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Prakash Padukone.
Good evening, everybody. This is an absolute fanboy moment for me. Absolute fanboy moment. Only yesterday in the evening, we were sitting next to each other, watching his son-in-law's brilliant acting in the movie. And I knew, of course, at that stage that you were getting the award. And many a time, I was tempted to, sort of nudge you and say to you, tomorrow. But then the movie was so good that I didn't get that second to say to him. But honestly, I've always said that without any disrespect to any of the other Indian sports persons of the past, that for me, you are the greatest Indian sportsman ever.
Thank you so much.
At a time when the Chinese had just come back into international badminton, and when the rest of the great champions in badminton were struggling to even score 8 or 10 points, and that time it was a 15-point game, not the 21-point game that we see now. Prakash was beating them 15-8, 15-3, and that just tells you what a great, great sportsman he was, what a great, great badminton player he was. In those days, the All England Championship was the World Championship. To win it, the manner that he did was absolutely fantastic. And I think, you actually paved the way. As Mr. Murli said, you paved the way for the badminton generation that we now see winning titles all over. You've been a role model on the court, off the court, and then now your contribution to badminton with your academy. Prakash, keep up the good work. As I said, it's been a fanboy moment for me. Thank you so much.
Not my absolute honor. Thank you so much. It's a great honor and privilege for me to be getting this Sportstar Lifetime Achievement Award, especially coming from Sunil and in front of so many sporting icons. I don't think I really deserve that much of praise. There are so many others who have contributed and done well. But I accept this award with all humility and dedicate this to all my fellow players also who played with me and have contributed for the growth of Indian badminton. I played badminton at a time when not many knew, especially in the southern part of India, what badminton was all about. That was in the early 60s. Another sport called ball badminton, which was very popular. And badminton was played only in the eastern, western, and the northern part of India. If you went to the south and said ball, if you said badminton, it automatically meant ball badminton. If you had to be specific, you had to specifically mention that it was shuttle badminton. Only then people would know that there's another sport called shuttle badminton. So that was how popular the sport was when I took up the game in the 60s. And from there to where we are, I'm extremely delighted that I've been able to play a small part in this evolution of Indian badminton, where we are among the top 4 in the world. There was a time when even 10-15 years back, when the draws for the championships were out, everybody would see whether they're playing the Indonesians first or the Chinese first, and they would get scared. But now the time has come when the Chinese and the Indonesians, whenever the draw comes out, they see if they are playing any Indians first. I think we've come a long way since then, and I'm extremely happy that the Indian badminton players are doing well, and going forward as well, we have so much of depth and young talent that we will continue to get medals in the Olympics in the future as well. I'm very confident of Indian badminton doing well and Indian players doing well. And last but not the least, I would not have achieved whatever little success I did without, of course, I've worked hard for that, but without the support and encouragement from well-wishers, I thank all of you for your support, and I'll continue to try to do whatever I can for Indian badminton in the future as well. Thank you, Sportstar. Thank you, Hindu, for this great honor. Thank you.
Just wonderful to hear a couple of legends on stage. True definition of a humble champion is Mr. Prakash Padukone. May I kindly request the family to please join him on stage in this hour of achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the Padukone family. Ranveer? Picture perfect, as they say. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful evening. Thank you once again for everybody for being a part of this excellent occasion. May I kindly request Mr. K.C. Vijay Kumar, who is the editor, sports editor of The Hindu, to please come forward to deliver the vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a splendid night celebrating the very best of Indian sport. And it's in sync with the glorious tradition of chronicling sport, which is intrinsic to Sportstar and The Hindu. It's a legacy that's been passed on from generations. My boss, the editor of The Hindu, Mr. Mukund Padmanabhan, is sitting here. There are days when he pulls me up saying, the pictures are not big enough, the writing could be better, can we have more clarity in the copies? And that's the legacy we try to live up to. On behalf of The Hindu group of publications, I thank the Qatar World Cup Organizing Committee for supporting us, MRF for being an associate sponsor. I thank the Odisha Chief Minister, Mr. Naveen Patnaik, for gracing the ceremony and for receiving the award on behalf of the state. I thank the awards jury, headed by Mr. Sunil Gavaskar, and the internal jury, headed by the KSL chairman, Mr. N. Murali, which picked the Lifetime Achievement Award. I thank all the dignitaries and the wonderful sportspersons who made it a point to be present here, including a legend amidst us, Mr. Prakash Padukone. Thanks is also due to some of our winners who, due to their tight schedules, could not make it and yet sent in those wonderful video messages that we played earlier. I thank our chairman, Mr. N. Ram, who backed ION and the entire sports team while we endeavor to revive the awards function. I thank the editorial team, both the Hindu and Sportstar, and also our marketing, events, and brand teams. I thank our event manager, Orange Juice, for conceptualizing this event and giving it shape. I thank our friends from the media and two old friends present here, RK for anchoring the event, and Gaurav for deftly guiding the panel discussion. Thanks is also due to our industry partner, CII, and broadcast partner, CNN News 18. We also need to thank Real Kashmir, the first team from Kashmir that is qualified to play in the I-League. Some of the members of the team and the management are here. A big thanks to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, the night is still young. Please do join us for cocktails and dinner and sporting conversations, and maybe we could discuss the Sportstar Center spreads. Thank you very much.